These are the fighters and interceptors that ruled the skies. They defined air combat across a century of American military aviation. Let's meet them. 1909. Wright Military Flyer, the first military aircraft for the U.S. Army, a fragile biplane based on the Wright brothers' designs. It marked the birth of U.S. military aviation, used for early reconnaissance and training despite its limited speed and range. 1911. Curtiss Model D, an early pusher biplane adopted by the Army Signal Corps. It served as a trainer and scout, helping establish aerial tactics in the pre-WWII era. 1915. Curtiss J.N. Jenny, a biplane trainer that became the backbone of U.S. pilot training during WWII. Thousands were built, teaching generations of aviators the basics of flight. 1924. Curtiss P-51 Hawk, the first in the Hawk series, a biplane pursuit fighter with an open cockpit. It represented the transition to more agile pursuit aircraft in the interwar period. 1925. Curtiss P-2 Hawk, an improved Hawk variant with better engine performance. It was used for pursuit roles but quickly evolved as aviation technology advanced. 1926. Curtiss P-3 Hawk, a further refinement of the Hawk line, featuring enhanced speed. It served in limited pursuit duties before being overshadowed by monoplanes. 1928. Curtiss P-5 Hawk, another Hawk iteration with supercharged engines for higher altitude performance. It was primarily a testbed for future designs. 1929. Curtiss P-6 Hawk, the pinnacle of the biplane Hawk fighters. Known for its colorful squadron markings, it excelled in air races and pursuit training. 1930. Curtiss P-11 Hawk, an experimental Hawk variant with inline engines. It provided data for future monoplane transitions but saw no production. 1932. Boeing P-26 Peashooter, America's first all-metal monoplane fighter with an open cockpit and fixed landing gear. It was obsolete by World War II, but fought bravely in the Philippines against Japanese forces. 1932. Curtiss P-22 Hawk, a Hawk test model with radial engines. It contributed to engine development but remained experimental. 1933. Curtiss P-23 Hawk, the last biplane Hawk used for testing. It bridged the gap to modern monoplanes. 1935. Seversky P-35, an innovative pre-war monoplane design that helped transition the Army Air Force to modern fighters. It served briefly before being replaced. 1936. Curtiss P-36 Hawk, an early modern fighter design with retractable gear. It performed well in French service during the Battle of France and was used for training by 1941. 1937. Brewster F-2A Buffalo, the U.S. Navy's first monoplane fighter, though bulky. It performed poorly against the Zero in the Pacific, but saw success with Finnish pilots. 1938. Bell P-39 Airacobra featured a unique cannon firing through the propeller hub and tricycle landing gear. It saw extensive successful service in the Soviet Air Force during World War II. 1938. Curtiss P-40 Warhawk, a dependable, rugged fighter that was the backbone of the AAF at the start of World War II. Its low-altitude performance made it famous with the Flying Tigers. 1938. Lockheed P-38 Lightning. Distinctive twin booms defined this long-range escort fighter. It was the only American fighter in large-scale production from Pearl Harbor to VJ Day. 1939. Republic P-43 Lancer served as an important high-altitude interim fighter. Many were shipped to China, where they provided service until the P-40 arrived. 1940. Grumman F4F Wildcat, a tough, slow, but reliable carrier-based fighter. Its ability to absorb punishment made it essential during early Pacific naval battles. 1940. Republic P-44 Rocket, an advanced pursuit design that was canceled. It influenced later Republic fighters like the Thunderbolt. 1940. Northrop P-61 Black Widow, America's first dedicated radar-equipped night fighter. This large aircraft used a 3-man crew to hunt nocturnal enemy bombers. 1941. Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, known as the Jug. This massive fighter was incredibly durable, fast in a dive, and a devastating ground attack platform. 1941. Bell P-63 King Cobra, an improved Airacobra with better performance. It saw limited U.S. use but was exported widely, especially to the Soviets. 1942. North American P-51 Mustang, arguably the finest piston-engined fighter of World War II with the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. It provided crucial long-range escort deep into Germany. 1942. Lockheed P-322 Lightning, a stripped-down export version of the Lightning for Britain and France. It was retained by the U.S. after the fall of France. 1942, Republic P-35, an early all-metal fighter from Seversky. It was a stepping stone toward the Thunderbolt, providing pre-war experience to pilots. 1943, Grumman F6F Hellcat. Known as the Zero Killer, this robust machine replaced the Wildcat. It achieved a staggering 19-to-1 kill ratio against Japanese planes. 1943, Vought F4U Corsair. The whistle death with inverted gull-wing design for a massive propeller. It became one of the fastest and most iconic carrier fighters. 1944, Lockheed F-80 Shooting Star, America's first operational jet fighter. It bridged World War II piston engines to the jet age, serving in Korea. 1944, North American F-82 Twin Mustang, a long-range escort fighter made by joining two Mustangs. It served in early Cold War interception roles. 1945, Republic F-84 Thunderjet, a straight-wing jet fighter bomber. It saw heavy use in Korea for ground attack despite early teething issues. 1947, North American F-86 Sabre, iconic swept-wing jet that dueled MiG-15s in Korea. It achieved air superiority and influenced future designs. 1948, Northrop F-89 Scorpion, an all-weather interceptor with heavy armament. It defended North American skies during the early Cold War. 1948, Lockheed F-90, a penetration fighter prototype. It tested advanced jet concepts but was not produced. 1948, Republic F-91 Thunderceptor, an experimental mixed-power interceptor. It pushed speed boundaries but remained a prototype. 1948, Convair F-92, a delta-wing interceptor prototype. It contributed to delta-wing research for future aircraft. 1949, North American F-93, a Sabre variant for penetration fighting. It was canceled but informed F-86 developments. 1949, Lockheed F-94 Starfire, an all-weather interceptor based on the F-80. It patrolled during the Korean War. 1949, Republic F-96, a Thunderjet variant. It was redesignated as F-84F. 1949, Lockheed F-97 Starfire, redesignated as F-94C, an improved all-weather interceptor. 1953, North American F-100 Super Sabre, the first U.S. Air Force supersonic fighter. It served in Vietnam for close air support. 1953, McDonnell F-101 Voodoo, a supersonic interceptor and tactical bomber. It set speed records and served in reconnaissance roles. 1954, Convair F-102 Delta Dagger, a delta-wing interceptor with area rule design. It defended against Soviet bombers in the Cold War. 1954, Lockheed F-104 Starfighter, the missile with a man in it known for speed. It served as an interceptor and in Vietnam. 1955, Republic F-105 Thunderchief, a supersonic fighter bomber nicknamed Thud. It flew Wild Weasel missions in Vietnam. 1956, Convair F-106 Delta Dart, the ultimate interceptor, faster than the Dagger. It guarded U.S. airspace until the 1980s. 1957, North American F-107, a Super Sabre derivative for tactical bombing. It lost to the F-105 in competition. 1959, North American F-108 Rapier, a Mach 3 interceptor proposal. It was canceled but influenced the B-70 bomber. 1960, McDonnell Douglas F-40, Phantom II, originally F-110 Spectre, versatile multi-role fighter used in Vietnam. It set records and served all branches. 1963, Northrop F-5, Freedom Fighter/Tiger II, lightweight, affordable export fighter. It trained aggressors and saw combat abroad. 1966, General Dynamics F-111 Aardvark, swing-wing tactical bomber fighter. It pioneered terrain-following radar. 1970, Grumman F-14 Tomcat, swing-wing carrier fighter with Phoenix missiles. It starred in Top Gun and defended fleets. 1972, McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle, air superiority fighter with undefeated record. It excels in beyond visual range combat. 1974, General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon, agile multi-role fighter with fly-by-wire. It has over 4,500 built and serves globally. 1975, McDonnell Douglas F/A-18 Hornet, carrier multi-role fighter for Navy/Marines. It replaced multiple types and flew in Desert Storm. 1981, Northrop F-20 Tiger Shark. Advanced F-5 with modern avionics. It was marketed for export but canceled. 1983, Boeing F/A-18 Super Hornet. Enlarged Hornet with more range and payload. It fills the gap until F-35. 1997, Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. 5th generation stealth air dominance fighter. It combines Super Cruise and sensor fusion. 2006, Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II, 5th generation multi-role stealth fighter in ABC variants. It integrates with allies and replaces older types. 2021, Boeing F-15EX Eagle II, modernized Eagle with advanced radar and weapons. It bridges to 6th generation fighters.